Alright guys, Sanj here. Welcome to the first video of the Bodybuilding Essentials series. So just a quick overview of what we're going to be talking things about what really you need to know coming into bodybuilding. Obviously I compete on smaller natural organizations, and this year I'll be going into the NPC. So this information is mostly going to be tailored towards novice, beginner bodybuilders on the NPC or Natural Federation side that are looking into competing and getting into bodybuilding. So let's go ahead and get into this. I was sitting here for like an hour over analyzing this, and I just want to just put out this content for you guys. So I hope you enjoy it. But let's start off with episode 1 of the Bodybuilding Essentials series. How many meals per day? Now, obviously, I'm going to be going into a long tangent. We're going to be talking about lots of different things in this video, but this is going to be the main topic. So let's talk about how many meals per day you, as a novice bodybuilder, should be consuming per day. So let's go ahead and start off with what I do. So typically, I have about 5, 6, maybe 7 meals, okay? Probably 4 meals in the off season. 10 to 12 ounces of rice, 6 to 8 ounces of typically a white meat, or if I'm going to be doing a red meat, I just make sure I dial it back a little bit in the ounces because there's going to be more fat, so it's going to be more calorically dense. So 4 meals of a grain-styled carbohydrate and a meat, some sort of usually a lean meat source. And then I'll add 2 other meals. So you're thinking, okay, we're at 6 meals, right? 2 more meals. I like to do oatmeal. I like to have like breakfast on the morning and on the evening. So my 2 meals that I start with and end the day with, I like to do oatmeal. I like to do egg whites, things like that. Sometimes I'll do a protein shake and I'll throw a banana in there. If I'm in a rush, I'll throw some oatmeal in the shaker with some protein and some almond milk. There's a lot of different things you can do. I don't want you to get caught up in the nuances and the micros. I just want you guys to be focusing on the macros. So that metaphor is micro and macro. Macro is bigger, micro smaller. Focus on the bigger stuff. Don't get lost in the small minutiae of the things of dieting. Just get started. Start eating whatever you can do. So if you can only do 3 meals a day, or if you want to try keto, or you want to try intermittent fasting, like that's cool. But I'm just telling you what I do, and I'm telling you what I recommend. I recommend you do 4 to 6 meals. Don't jump up here. The cat's eyeing me. I like to do 4 to 6 meals of a carb source and a protein. If I have time, or if I have the supplementation, if I have a sponsor at the time, I'll do a protein powder around 2 times a day. Maybe I'll do it before workout and after workout, just to have my body fueled with something as we're training. It's not required, it's not necessary. What are my required necessary supplements? You're gonna have to wait for that one. That's a whole new video. It's a whole nother video. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. But you're also probably wondering, man, he really wants to hop up here. You might be wondering what the pros do. People, Jay Cutler, Lee Haney, Dorian Yates, Smear Bannout, Chris Bumstead, people like that. What do all these pros, what do they eat? How many times do they eat? I don't want you to really focus on that one. These guys are, the genetic elite. They put in so many years trying to figure all this out. They take a lot of stuff to help them get along the way, so that they can potentially miss meals. They don't have to weigh it as much. They also have, he really wants to get up here. They also have professional coaches that are going to be helping them along the way, telling them what to eat, when to eat, and what to eat. So don't get caught up in that. Focus on just starting, start eating, start training, start doing some sort of low impact cardio to start. If you're somebody that cuts and bulks in a calendar year and can fluctuate anywhere between 20 to 60 pounds, it's going to be really rough on your knees if you just jump right into running. And especially my veterans out there, if you guys are in the military, you need to run. Pretty much you need to run unless you have a profile. And the Army's like, okay, you can walk now, you can swim. Unless you're one of those guys, you're going to have to run, and it's going to really hurt your knees, it's going to hurt your ankles and your feet if you're running with like 40, 50, 60 pounds extra on those joints. So start with something small. Start with some stair climbers, or an elliptical, or a recumbent bike. Anything that reduces the impact on the knees. But that was just a quick tangent on my thoughts. But meals per day, what do the pros eat? Do the pros weigh their food? Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. If they have a meal program or like a trifecta, or somebody who makes their meals for them, that's usually already going to be weighed out. Do I weigh my food? I like to think I always do, but I'm not one of those guys that carries a scale in when he goes to Chipotle. All right. When I'm at home, yes, I weigh my meals, especially if I'm home. If I'm working from home, I weigh every meal on the dot. Like every time I eat, I just weigh it. If I'm meal prepping, which traditionally I like to, I'll weigh out 3, maybe 4 days ahead of time. I don't really want the chicken to start getting kind of funky. I deserve good food. I've been eating boiled white chicken for years now, and now coming into a new chapter of my life, I deserve to eat good food. It doesn't need to be boiled. It doesn't need to be bland. You can season things. You can grill things. If you do it smart, you can marinate things. But just make sure you guys are looking at the additives, the caloric additives. I don't know if that's how you say it, but marinades are going to have extra calories. So make sure you consider that when you're adding it to your foods. But it really just comes down to the journey, what you're doing over the long span. Don't worry about the quick little fad things. I don't always recommend keto. I don't always recommend intermittent fasting for people that are just beginning, people that are just getting into bodybuilding. I do really recommend the traditional 4 to 6 meals, a carb and a meat. Throw some vegetables in there if you want to, check those boxes, take your vitamins and whatnot. Again, it's another video, but just set a baseline. Just do what everyone's been doing for the last 40 years. Obviously, it works. Don't buy into the hype on something weird, especially if you have to buy it. If they're selling you a program on this new crazy thing, it's probably just crazy. It's nothing new. It's just a scam, all right? Anything else? Off-season versus in-season cycling for food. I'm talking about food, nutrition. Off-season, I'm going to eat a little bit more food. When I'm cutting, I'm going to eat a little bit less food. I'm going to figure out what my caloric threshold is, like what my basic metabolic rate, like what my body needs to keep the lights on, right? Like how many calories I need to eat a day to stay alive. I'll figure that out, and then I just start slowly cutting it back. In reality, I set a very big goal when I'm eating in the off season. I try to hit 3,000, 3,500 calories. Big numbers. I blow up. I put a lot of weight on. I lift big weight for me. Big weight for me. Right. And then I start to creep it back just a little bit, 100 calories in carbs, 100 calories in protein, and just slowly dial it back, and I wait for my body to react. And then when my body stops reacting, then I add more change. I change the variable once my body has gotten used to what I'm really throwing at it, really shocking the system. Very Arnold-esque, all right? And genetics, do they affect it? There are going to be people that are more predisposed to having a higher metabolism. What this means, I know everyone wants to just say, it's like, oh, I have a crappy metabolism. So do I. I still make it work, all right? If you have a fast metabolism, it's going to burn through your food faster. You're typically going to be leaner, more slender, a stringy fella, all right? That's not going to stop you from doing anything. That just means you need to work harder and smarter to attain those specific goals within the realms of bodybuilding. If you're a bigger person, I'm not going to say the endomorphs, the ectomorphs, whatever that is, it's trash, all right? I'm a bigger guy. I'm a big frame. My family's big. We're all fat, all right? I got to work my butt off to stay lean enough to stay in the army, all right? When I'm in my off seasons, I'm eating a lot of food. When I'm in my cutting seasons, I'm cutting a lot of food, and I just affect it as my body needs to. I just keep shocking it. I don't worry about all the extra stuff, right? Don't get caught up in the micros. Focus on the macros, the big stuff, all right? And just a little fun one. Do you need to wake up during the evening when you're sleeping to eat food? A lot of people are going to say it's going to be challenging and fueling your metabolic rate, and you're going to be burning more food. This is what the pros do, and this is why the pros do this. The pros eat every 2 or 3 hours because it helps them consume more calories, which allows their body to grow more in the off season. The same would be applied to when the pros, the elite of the world of bodybuilding, the best of the best, when they're in their cutting season and they're losing weight, they're trying to get ready to get on stage, look shredded, look diced, look minced, dice to the socks, whatever you want to say. When they're getting ready to go on stage, when they're cutting down. So when the pros are cutting, when they're getting ready to get on stage, they're still going to be eating their 6 to 8 meals or however many meals they can get in every 3 hours as long as they're awake. If they have longer days, they could probably fit in more meals, right? That makes more sense. That makes sense, right? I'm not crazy. When they're doing that, they're still going to be eating all those meals. They're just going to be making them smaller. So keep that in mind. You probably don't need to wake up at 3 a.m. to have a protein shake to shock your system and keep your metabolism going. I don't think there's any science out there. I've never done that. Most pros don't do that. I know people like Jay Cutler back in the day. He used to do stuff like that, and I mean, he was one of the best of all time, but are you Jay Cutler? Do you need to do that? I don't think so. So that will be the majority of this video. I don't want to keep it any longer than it already is, but this will be the first installment of the Bodybuilding Essentials series. Comment below what you guys want to see next in terms of content. What videos do you guys want to see next? I have a nice list of really good content, good videos that I'd like to the information I'd like to get to you guys, because I wish I had that information when I started. So make sure you guys comment below. Let me know what topics you'd like me to cover in another episode of the Bodybuilding Essentials series. Follow me on Instagram. I'll be doing these little Q&A poll things where you can vote one or the other, and that's going to affect how quickly that topic gets posted, all right? But that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you guys want to see more of this specific content. Make sure you check out the rest of the channel. I have a lot of different stuff on this channel. And if you guys like bodybuilding news and bodybuilding content in general, definitely consider subscribing to the Bodybuilding News Network, my bodybuilding news channel. Thank you so much for stopping in and checking out this channel. Subscribe if you want to see more. My name's Sanj, and I'll see you guys in the next one.